Hi there, you are back again for episode 4 with the Phat Travellers. I'm Deb and this is
Al.
and we're going to tell you about our week in review and all the things that have been happening this week, which has been absolutely crazy.
Yeah, we've had a bad week this week. Where are we going to start?
Probably with what happened inside our house.
Let me start.
Okay, go.
Yeah. It was about 2 nights ago, and it was about 10 o'clock that we went to bed. And 3 hours later, I woke up. I went and did a pee. Yeah, that's what I woke up for.
And I woke up because Alan wears hearing aids. I don't know if you've noticed them in his videos, but he wears hearing aids. And this night, his hearing aids were making that buzzing, like, sound.
Sorry, what'd you say?
So when they're too close to each other, they make a sound, and that doesn't normally happen. But 2 nights ago, it did happen. So Alan had woken up, gone to the toilet. I woke up, heard this ringing sound, and I'm like, Alan, can you fix your hearing aids up?
Well, yeah, could you find out what that buzzing was or
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
And I looked down and I noticed the power was off on all my little gadgets.
You went to turn the light on.
So I went to turn the light on, the light wouldn't turn on. I'm thinking, what's going on here? So,
And I'm looking out the front window thinking, oh, someone's just been to our meter box and done something with the fuse and we're about to get robbed or something.
so I walked out of my room in the dark, walked down, and I could see the street lights coming through one of the side windows. And the whole window was all fogged up with like steam, like a misty steam.
Yeah, it was like that Titanic scene, where all the, the car, when they're in the car, in that sex scene.
We weren't having sex
No.
there.
We won't, but it was like that steamed up window effect where you just see that hand on the window with,
I don't think I'd be able to get enough energy to have steam on a window. But I like the way you think.
Anyways, the window was steamed up and that's not normal for our house.
Yeah, so my immediate thought was, and I could hear this noise. I didn't have my hearing aids in. I could hear this noise, and I'm thinking that's an air conditioner. Then that explains why the windows are steamed up in my half asleep logic. And
I could hear this noise, just like it was like a waterfall was happening.
And which it pretty much was, because as I walked down towards the kitchen, down the hallway, I started walking into about an inch of water. And the further I got, the deeper it got. Now, half of the lights were working in the house, half of the lights working. So I managed to get a light on. Weren't working, yeah. So I turned a light on, and what it was, the hot water tap above our kitchen sink, there's a hot hose and a cold hose that come down underneath it and connect to the plumbing. The hot hose had exploded out of its wire mesh casing, and the force coming out of the water coming out was enough to blow both the doors open, and it was spraying across the kitchen.
Yep.
And obviously the power point under the dishwasher got soaked with water, which would have cut the circuit breakers off for the powers.
Cut the lights off for half the house.
So, me being the superhero I am, I immediately ran out to the water meter out the front yard, shut the water off.
I'm like standing there like, oh, what do we do? What can we wrap around it to stop it?
So then we started investigating. Now, we had a few people staying over that night. None of them had realised what was going on.
Yeah, but
so we just left them.
We have to explain it though. Like, we had water that was, by this stage, probably about 10 centimetres, or probably 8 centimetres, I'd say.
Down the back of the house, it was, 8 to 10 centimetres deep.
Yeah, so it was like about this high. And so we came out, the kitchen was flooded, the lounge room was flooded, the art studio was flooded, walked down into the hallway, that's got water through it, the laundry's got water through it.
The computer room's
got water through it. So we grabbed towels, we grabbed the mop, the bucket, and
we spent 3 hours.
Well, at the first stage, we were just trying to basically stop the water from getting onto the carpeted areas. Now, luckily for us, our whole house is basically tiled, except for
1, 2,
4
3.
bedrooms, computer room or study, and our sitting room. So probably a bit more than half the house is tiled. So we're trying to block off these carpeted rooms because, that would be the worst case scenario. And then we got to at 1 a.m. in our jammies with people staying over. And
so what we think was happened was the amount of water that was in the house, the pipe would have busted just as after we had gone to sleep. Just after we'd gone to bed, the pipe had blown and it had been pouring out. No, let me rephrase that. It was pissing out for 3 hours straight.
Which is funny because we'd only made this decision a couple of weeks before, or a week before, that we were going to go to bed much earlier because Alan and I are usually night owls. So we would stay up to midnight, sometimes 1 a.m. doing, work or whatever we were doing. And then we'd get up a little bit later, but we made this joint decision the other week that we we're both going to go to bed at around 9 or 10. And I think we discussed this in the last podcast because we wanted to get more production hours in the morning before we, get into life. And so if we were doing our regular routine, we would have been awake when this thing exploded and we could have, stopped it right then. But because we'd already been in bed and asleep for 3 hours, the house was flooded. There was nothing we could do about it.
So for the next 3 hours, we spent absorbing all this water up into buckets.
Yeah.
And getting rid of it in our pajamas. 2 dogs were looking through the window going,
what the hell?
Yeah.
Let us in.
I considered
we like water.
I considered getting the kayak out and going kayaking down the hallway. Yeah. And anyway, so we got it so the floor was still wet and it was still soaking, but we got a lot of the water up.
All the fans were on trying to dry it. And
then one of our guests walks out. What did he say?
He said, our room's getting really, really hot, and so I went to turn the fan on and then realised the fan's not working and the light's not working. And the reason that the room was really hot, it was because it was the hot water that exploded, and that bedroom is basically
next to the kitchen,
behind the wall of the kitchen. And so the water was running through the kitchen, under the pantry, under the walls of the house, straight into their bedroom that they were staying in, soaking the carpet with hot water, and obviously they were steamed out. So luckily there's another room down the end of the house that was not water affected, so they just moved down to that room.
Then our other guest, Jin, which we've had on before.
Jin's on some of our YouTube videos on Al and Deb channel.
He come out half asleep, looked at what's going on sort of thing, so I told him, and he just wandered back to bed.
Went back to bed.
But I went into his room.
And that's soaking.
It was soaking as well, so...
Yeah, so the carpet had soaked through that one, soaked through the other room. And then, it was just, we thought in the computer room where we do all our work, we thought, it's not too bad. It's just got the edge. We got it all. And then we walked in a bit further and it's just slushing under our feet. And it was like, okay, with the humidity that we're having and stuff like that, the first priority was just to rip all the carpet up, because we did think about, I've heard that, you can save the carpet and get someone in to steam clean it. And I'm sure there's people that could have done that. But I think the amount of water that was in our house, we just needed to pull it all up and start again.
Like you might have got the carpet on top dry, but the underlay was drenched. And plus, having the wet carpet there, that encouraged the walls and the skirting boards to stay wet. Right. So we thought, no, let's just get this dry as quick as we can, less damage. So we spent from 1 o'clock to
about 4:45.
4:45, just getting everything away from the water.
Just getting water, just drying up the floor.
Just drying up the floor, and it's 5:45. I went to Bunnings, bought a new tap set, come back, installed the new tap set so everyone would have water in the morning.
we need a shower in the toilets.
Got all that fixed. So that was fixed at about 6:30,
yep.
7 o'clock.
Yep.
Then from 7 o'clock to...
the next day we
just ripped up carpets,
moved
everything.
furniture, pulled furniture apart, changed rooms with, where things were going to stay dry. So it's been hectic, which is the reason why you would have noticed we've had our Al and Deb YouTube channel now for probably about 6 weeks. And we've been quite consistent with our videos so far. This week you would have noticed that we've not had so many, and that's the reason why. We've just been full on at home, and still everything is basically everywhere.
Is in its place.
We usually have everything has a spot. So in our house, usually there's a spot for this, there's a spot for that. We know where things are. At the moment, like even just looking for paper tonight, it's like, okay, well, so where's the paper now?
It's all stacked and stored everywhere that's dry.
Yeah. So full on.
I can speak for myself, but I know Deb's the same. My back is killing me.
Oh, no.
It's been hard work.
It has been. And, luckily we had Jessie here, and my mum came over last night and Nick came over last night. So they were helping us move a ton of stuff. And I know, they're feeling it too today. So, yeah, we're all feeling a little bit sorry for ourselves.
But we did manage to get on tonight between moving stuff, because we're still moving stuff. After we finish here, we're moving stuff. But we thought we'd get on and do our podcast just to keep everyone updated, because tomorrow we were supposed to be heading south, weren't we?
Yeah, but let's just... Yes, we were heading south. I was just going to say, I just had carpet on my mind. And thinking,
let's keep going with the carpet then.
And just thinking that today we actually managed to pretty well match up the carpet that we needed to replace.
Yeah, one-stop shop. We went to one shop, we were there for 10 minutes, put the deposit down, it's ordered.
Well, Alan cut out a little carpet square for us to take down and match up, and it wasn't a perfect match, but it's close enough. And I think it's the quickest house shopping we've done in our lives.
Yeah,
in and out 10, 15 minutes. So you're saying Foster?
Yeah, so tomorrow we're supposed to be heading off down to Foster for a week to spend... we're visiting our son down there.
And Kaylin, his girlfriend.
Yeah, but we've had to cancel. And simple fact is the house is still soaking wet in the walls and everything. If we shut the house up for a week,
we're going to end up with mould.
It's going to be mould. It's
we
going
don't
to be
want
stinky. So we thought, no, let's cancel the trip.
Yeah.
So you won't be seeing Foster next week.
No, but in a couple of weeks, we will go down and do that trip, and maybe, we don't know yet, but we've been actually looking at different ways to travel. So we have been looking online lately for like a camper van.
We've looked at lots of things online lately.
We used to have a camper trailer, and that was one of those ones that flips up. And
it was great. It was good.
It was really good. But to set it up, it took a little while to set up, and for weekend trips, it wasn't the greatest. Well, once you were set up, it was great. But to set it up and pull it down and pack it up, it wasn't worth going away and using it for the weekends we found. So we got rid of that, and we're looking now at maybe a little camper van, an all-in-one sort of thing where we can just use it for little trips.
Yeah, our plan is because I'm still working, Deb's working during the week, I'm still working at the studio teaching, And so we thought 1 or 2 day trips on the weekend until we start doing our bigger trips, which we do have coming up in 3 weeks. We're heading to Bali again. Woo! Now,
been forever.
Yeah, so we didn't want to, if we're only going for 1 or 2 nights, we didn't want to spend all the time setting up or packing up. We want to just pull up somewhere, just do the basics.
And I don't want a caravan. Like, caravans are great. They look fantastic. And you go inside, and we had a look at a couple today going inside and say, oh, yeah, this is great. But, again, we're only talking about doing overnight or 2-night trips here and there, because at the moment, if you're watching our other channel, you'd see that we've just been focusing on the Gold Coast, but we want to expand that a little bit, but we don't want to go too far because we do have other commitments still.
To be talk about how we're doing it, we're focusing on dog parks, because not dog parks, not dog parks around the Gold Coast, no, holiday parks and stuff where you can take dogs to camp and stuff. Dog-friendly camping.
Dog-friendly, yeah. It doesn't necessarily mean a park or anything. Like, even if it's like off-grid sort of a bit, maybe.
I wonder if there's a dog cruise.
Anyways.
Yeah, anyway.
So we want to take Lola and Lindsay with us when we go for the weekends, because obviously they can't stay here and we would never leave them here by themselves. So we're thinking if we get a camper van, well, then they can come in the camper van with us and they would love it. They love water, so anywhere, that we can find a place where they can swim and stuff, they'll just be in dog heaven.
So we've sort of narrowed it down now. There's probably 2 options we're looking at, one more so than the other. The first option would be one of these new types of pop-out campers sort of style things. But we're...
what are you talking about?
I'm like confused. The one, Linda, my sister, she's talking about getting a...
camper trailer. I don't want a camper trailer, yeah.
Yeah, a sort of camper trailer style, but we've got that's not our preferred...
No, not at this stage.
Maybe, we're looking at maybe like anything like a Hi-Ace or a Ford Transit van that's been decked out with a queen-size, double-size bed sort of thing and a little kitchenette and something like that the dogs can go with us and we can pull up on the side of the road anywhere, is more our idea. But we've got a few stipulations of what we would like in the van sometime, and we're still debating on what we need, what we shouldn't need. So if you do have any experience in this matter, please feel free to offer us some advice.
You forgot my other option. Did you have another option you were going to say?
Cruise.
No.
Oh, okay.
So the other option that Alan just didn't mention is what I'm probably more keen to go with, is just keep the car that we've got. Get one of those pull-out expander things that go off the side, an awning. We've got a double swag for sleeping in, and
get the dogs a little beach tent to sleep in.
Get them a little get them a little tent, a 2-man tent for them, and I think because we're only doing weekend things and we only plan on being here a year and a half before we travel full time, or 1.5 to 2 years, whenever the shop's finished, whenever the lease is up, then we hopefully are off. But I don't know, maybe it's so up in the air, we don't know. But I think if that's the plan for now, I can't see getting I
do see the logic in
camper van or anything like that.
I do see the logic in starting small and working our way up and getting our feet wet and seeing what works and what doesn't. And there is a benefit in the way you're saying that we could also put the kayak on the roof and take that with us and stuff. And you learn what you do need and what you don't need. We've got the fridge already, but that's it. We need people with experience to give us
we don't really know
guidance.
we know we want to do it, but we don't know how we're going to do it yet. But I don't think it's one of those things that I think we just need to pack the car one day and just go and then work it out from there. I mean, we already did it. We did go over to Fraser Island and took the car over, and we took our swag over in a tarp.
Yeah, loved it. It was very basic, but what we did was very basic.
But it was excellent. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it worked for us, so I can't see why it wouldn't work again.
Yeah. But there are some problems that we have to face at our age. And one of them is, which is what I've talked about before, I'm on a sleep apnea machine. So I need
power.
I need
that's
two
right.
batteries.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, no, that's one of the reasons we're going off that idea. She's my health. She keeps forgetting about it. And
it's all about me.
Yeah, so I need the solar power at night time. Or the battery storage from the solar power, and use it at night for my sleep apnea machine. I don't think we can do that with just the car. But I'm not up to date on
where there's
solar
a will,
power.
There's a way.
Yeah. I did talk to a caravan guy today, and he said you can do it with 2 batteries, and solar nowadays easy. I'll have to find out more information.
Yeah, well, we'll just keep working on that one. And like Al said, if you have any suggestions for us, just pop it in the comments below when you subscribe.
Yeah.
if you like.
And show your friends. Yeah.
Had to throw that one in there.
Yeah.
Maybe by the time we go to Foster in a couple of weeks, I think probably after Bali now, we may have some sort of little setup, because we're going to stop in at Byron Bay for a little while too, and Foster. So maybe we might have a little setup that we can film. I don't know.
Yep.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Alan said, we are going back to Bali. This will be trip number
17 or something.
Yeah, I think it's 19. I think last time was 18, but
don't know.
We've been going to Bali since the late 1980s.
We're no experts. We just enjoy Bali.
Yeah, we just love it. So we just go over there and have a great time.
Yeah.
This time we'll be heading over to Legian for the first week, and then over to Sanur the second week. Now, the first time that Alan and I went to Bali as a couple, we did stay in Sanur, and that was 1990.
This will be a story, one of those, I remember when, and I do remember
when. It was a
when.
good time.
Yeah.
It was a plumbing convention, remember?
We hired Suzuki Swifts.
Yeah, a little Suzuki
and used to drive around Bali and stuff. And it'd only take about 15 minutes to get from Sanur to Kuta.
Yeah, this was before they had all the traffic jams and stuff
now
that they
it's
do
over an
now.
hour. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I wouldn't hire a car there again. I'm not game enough to drive in the way it is now.
I would. You can just be my passenger.
No, it's not going to happen.
Why? I've got a clean driving record.
Oh, I hate being a passenger, that's all.
Yeah, so we did hire a car back in the day. Do you want to tell the story about the car hire? Do you remember that? When we got pulled over?
Oh, we got pulled over by the police officer on his motorbike.
Yeah.
And his English wasn't very good. And we had no knowledge of Balinese other than the Terra Makasi and
thank you and
Salamapaki and all that sort of stuff. And he wasn't happy. He was cranky and he started writing out tickets, and he's looking at the rego on the window, the sticker, and we're trying to explain to him.
We hired the car. We were just saying...
It's not our car, because he's telling us the tyres are bald and everything.
Yeah, and we're saying, we just hired it,
He eventually focused on us because he was pretty much ignoring us. He come out with his best English, and this was his best English. Fuck you, car rentals. Yes. Fuck you, car rentals.
And we're all in there going, yes.
Fuck you, car rentals. So we were off the hook.
Yeah, we didn't get a fine. So, yeah, that was one of our first driving experience. And now, every time since then, we've hired motorbike. And every time, of course, you get pulled over. you
get
fined
for the bribes.
You get fined, that not a legal fine, just a pocket fine. Pocket fine, but you go prepared, that's going to happen. Yeah, so we're excited to do that, and I think that trip's coming up in November.
Yeah, I think that's everything's up to date.
Yeah.
Everyone knows where we're going, what we're doing,
yeah,
what we haven't done.
Well, we're going to try and get another video filmed tomorrow. And
Weather
get that
depending.
online. Yeah, it's supposed to rain again, but if we can get a few hours where there's no rain, we might be able to get a video up tomorrow night. So that'll be on our other channel, Al and Deb. So go and check that out if you get the chance. And if you haven't already subscribed to our podcast, please do that if you're enjoying it, and check out our other channel and subscribe to that as well. We're going not too bad. We're loving what we're doing, and we hope that you enjoy it too. So until next time,
Salam apaki.
have a good night.